to the market, because we are really in the business of not being really to follow the ideals, but to try to predict where the market is going to go.
Yeah, and if Fed
Let me
is
answer
going,
the question.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I think that if the election comes in and the Republicans will take over, okay, just like it happened to Bill Clinton, okay?
In 1994.
In the mid-90s. If they're going to get out and the Republicans will take over, there will be a good vote by the market. The market will like it. They will probably push the stock market higher. What is the currency market is going to do? I don't like to be a slave of market correlation and say just because the market goes up, the dollar is going to continue to go down. Just because it did that, is going to continue to do that.
From 1994, when you had basically Clinton was defeated, to 2000, the dollar and the market went up together.
Yeah,
non-stop.
Non-stop. I did not interrupt you.
No, I don't.
But because Bill Clinton, he had somebody called Robert Rubin who produced, as I'm sure you know, the strong dollar policy. Tell me anybody that talks about the strong dollar policy. Nobody's talking about the strong dollar policy. You can talk about Bernanke all you want. However, he is the one whose asset purchases, whose inevitable QE is leading to what you guys like to talk about, the currency war. He's going to come in. The only reason I would expect if the dollar does go up is if he comes in and he says, I'm not going to raise purchases by 200 billion. I'm going to do 10 billion. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? It's going to be a disappointment because the market is in need of a drug. The market is rallying because it's anticipating its steroid. November 2nd is the rendezvous of getting the steroid. Once the steroid doses, it's going to be smaller than expected. The stock market is going to say, I have been going up based on expectations that I'm going to get a big dose of steroids. But he's just given me 10 billion. So what I'm going to do as a market, yes, I'm probably going to rally on the victory of the Republicans, maybe for probably 5-6 hours. But if I'm going to get the liquidity less than I expect, the stock market is going to go down, probably the dollar on the bounce, on the reactive bounce, but eventually people are going to say, wait a minute, eventually the Fed is going to have to come up probably 3 days later or 4 days later and increase its asset purchases because the consensus out there, whether you like to agree with the consensus or not, I mean, I don't know what you expect. Do you think
I don't care about the consensus. I never did.
Do you think they're going to increase asset purchases?
Of course, well, I don't care what they do.
Do you think they're going to do it or no?
But you see, I never make a forecast. I simply look at what they are doing. What I'm saying is today the policy is a disaster. If they keep doing it,
we all know. I mean,
it's going to continue to be a disaster. If they buy, I will then adapt my policy, saying this is stupid. They do something stupid. But since when would I be surprised if politicians do something stupid?
But I think these people are here to listen to us, to try to, us as so-called experts, trying to give an idea what we think. And
I've told what I think. I think basically the Democrats are going to take a beating. The dollar is going to go up, and the market is going to go up. That's basically, I've told you, that's basically, it's not a forecast.
I would find it hard to believe for the dollar to continue to go up if the Federal Reserve pumps up over $400 billion worth of U.S. Treasuries.
Let me put it this way. The Tea Party guys will basically go after the Fed with a club and will beat the Fed into oblivion because they all want to suppress the Fed. The Tea Party guys, part of their program is to say, we don't need the Fed.
How realistic is that?
I don't know.
Is it going to be the guy who ran into the helicopter,
who went... But that's why they want to suppress it. That's why they want to suppress the Fed, is because of the helicopter. That's basically exactly the reason. You put it... So what I'm saying is very simple. The Fed, knowing that the Republicans are going to win, is not going to do anything because its independence is basically, its very survival is in the line. He's not talking about the US economy, the Fed right now. If the Republicans win, basically the Fed is going to be brought back to a very minor agency, which it should, because they've been so bad for the last 20 years that since basically the third mandate of Greenspan, there is not one mistake that the Fed hasn't done. Not one. So
exactly. But Bernanke is appointed by the Republicans. He is a Republican.
But he was a Republican by George W. Bush, who wasn't exactly the smartest kid on the board.
I know. Ben Bernanke was the mouthpiece of the White House of the Bush administration. Do you remember? Between the Fed and going back to the head, he was.
That's basically what the Republicans call the